So taking our feet hip width apart, our knees are nice and relaxed, pelvis is in a nice neutral position, shoulders are down. Just thinking of lengthening the spine, think about the crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling, so we're not sinking down, lifting up, and then we're just going to go into a nice deep breath, trying to think about expanding the rib cage outwards rather than lifting the chest and the shoulders up. And then exhale. Good. Inhale. Good. Try and breathe nice and deeply into that diaphragm. Good. Just a couple more breaths, just to get us nicely prepared, thinking about your posture. And one more deep breath in and out. Good. This time you're going to take a deep breath in, you're going to lift your arm up, and you're going to side stretch over to one side. Good. Nice deep breath in, come back to the top, and then relax down. Good. So a nice deep breath in, reaching over. Nice deep breath in at the top, and then back down. Good. Nice deep breath in. One more each side. Nice side stretch as you breathe out. Nice deep breath in and out. Good. Nice deep breath. Last one. Just working into your sides, stretching through. And out. Good. Super. Just give your shoulders a roll. Let's lift and squeeze those shoulder blades together. So nice big rolls all the way down and round. Good. Good, super. And I'm going to go into our dumb waiter. So if you have a long resistance band, you can pick one of these up. If you don't have a resistance band, you can do it without. It's just adding a little bit more tension. So I'll show you without. First, you're going to have your palms facing the ceiling. Elbows and hands are going to be in line with each other. From here, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together and then open out those arms. So watch that the work comes from the shoulder blades and not from the biceps. Okay, so you will feel it in the arms slightly. Making sure you're drawing your elbows into your side the whole time. The closer you have your hands or on the band, the harder it is. And squeeze and come back to the start. Good. So as you come back to the start, especially if you do have a resistance band, just make sure that you are resisting against the band and you're not just closing and relaxing off, okay? So opening out, and then really important as you draw the arms back in to keep that resistance. Good. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good. Now just be aware of your neck as well. So check that as you squeeze, the chin doesn't come forwards or down, keeping that head nicely in line with the rest of the body, reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and squeeze. Super. Last few. Squeeze. And one more. Still standing nice and tall. Good, super. Just give your arms a bit of a shake. You can place your band on the floor. And then just working on some waist twists. So today we're going to take the arms behind the head. If you can't quite reach the behind the head, the temple is fine. Good. So making sure that we're not lifting and protruding that rib cage. We're not arching through that back. So lengthen through that spine still as you take your arms behind your head. Knees are nice and relaxed. You're just going to rotate over to one side, keeping those hips facing forwards, and then bring it back to the center. Inhale and exhale as you come over to one side. Inhale and exhale. Good, so you might start to feel this a little bit more in the upper spine as well. Good, just really check that those hips face forwards. You're not starting to rotate through those knees or those hips. Inhale at the center, exhale as you rotate. Good, try not to put any pressure on that neck. Any pressure on that neck, just bring your hands to your temples. Keep your elbows as far back as you can. Good, one more each side. And then just relax the arms down. Good, super. We're going to go on to our balance work. So we're going to do our tightrope from one side of our mat to the other. If you don't have a mat, don't worry, just go as far forward and back as you can. So let's place one foot in front of the other to start with. Thinking about that pelvis nice and long with that spine. And your shoulders are relaxed. Good. Crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. When you're ready, you can start to walk across your mat, heel to toe. Now imagine that your pelvis is a big bowl of water. So as you're walking, you don't want any water to spill. Keeping those hips and pelvis nice and secure. Thinking heel to toe. Once you get to the end of your mat, or as far as you can go, you're then going to go backwards. So you're going to think toe to heel. Really think about transferring through the weight from one foot to the other. Really think about the crown of the head reaching up, so lengthen through that spine. Super. We're going to do one more forwards and backwards. Try and keep those arms nice and relaxed. And those shoulders are just slightly back and down. We're not squeezing them back, just being aware that they're not rolling forwards. Finishing off your last one. So coming backwards. Good. In your own time, think nice and tall. Oh, lost my balance. Good. And once you've finished, just give your legs a shake, coming back to the center. Good, going to work into our ankles a bit and our hips. So just holding onto your hips, I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to go into our pony step, as they call it. So we're going to rise up onto both feet to start with. Good. From this position, you're going to lower one heel down to the floor. You're going to keep one heel off. Good. So when you're in this position, you're trying not to move your hips from side to side. You're trying to keep that pelvis nice and secure. So then as you come back up, that pelvis stays nice and neutral, changing feet. Trying to lower down as slowly as you can, working into that ankle strength. Good, so lifting up and down. Good. And coming up and down. Good, so this is really going to warm up the feet as well. Squeeze up. Good, so try and hold that balance. So at the top, think of where that pelvis is. Engaging those abdominals, pulling up with that pelvic floor. Good, think about squeezing those ankles together. so that they're not going out. Good, that's it. So you're trying to keep the ankles on top of those toes. Super. Lift. Good. Lifting up. And good, let's just do 2 more. Check those ankles. Last one. Lifting up. And lower. Good, super. Giving your legs a bit of a shake. And then just one more exercise, just into our leg lift. So thinking nice and tall with that spine. One leg, nice and strong. Take the weight over. You're going to lift the other leg up into your single leg balance. Today, you're going to take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Good. So as you take the arms up towards the ceiling, check you're not arching through the spine. Keep that rib cage nice and soft. And then we're going to come back down. Good. And then nice deep breath in. Good. And then out. So go in your own time with this one. Think about holding your balance for as long as you need to. And testing yourself. Good. And still think about the bowl of water around your pelvis. Good, so those hips stay nice and even. Good, lengthen through the spine, reach up towards the ceiling. Super. Lift. Okay, let's do one more on each side. Again, holding that balance for as long as you need to. Check that spine's nice and lengthened. Lift. Good. Super. Okay, we're going to go into our roll downs. We're going to go slightly different today. So our feet are hip width apart. We're going to roll down the spine like we normally do. So inhale at the top. One vertebra at a time, bring your chin down towards your chest. Really think of curving that spine. Now, once you get as far down as you can, you're going to feel that stretch. Let those arms dangle nice and heavy. We're going to hold it at the bottom. We're going to just bend our knees a little bit more. Good. If you can touch the floor with your hands, feel free to just hold that stretch. Then you're going to keep reaching down towards the floor as you stretch your legs. And then roll back up through the spine. So we're just staying down there a little bit longer, increasing the stretch at the bottom. So breathing out as you go down. Good. Let those shoulders come forwards. Let those arms dangle nice and heavy. Curve through the spine. So pull that belly button towards the spine. Good. Once you get as far down as you can, really feel that stretch. Bending those knees, reach down towards the floor. Increase the stretch a little bit. Now keep reaching as you stretch the legs and then roll back up. Good. Again, go in your own time. Really working through our spine mobility. And flexibility in the backs of the legs with this one. And your knees. And then stretch. Good, so you can hold it down there as long as you want to, feeling that stretch. Good. Okay, you're going to do one more. Hold the stretch at the bottom, and then when you're ready, we're going to go all the way down onto the floor. So rolling down, holding that stretch at the bottom, taking your time, and then when you're ready, we're going to head all the way down to the floor. We're going to come to lying on our backs when you're ready. So once you finish that stretch, all the way down, lying on your back. Good, so once you're lying on your back, just checking your position. So your pelvis is in its neutral position. Your hips are nice and square. We've not got one hip higher than the other. Hips, knees and feet are all in line. And then your hips and your shoulders are all in line. And then just checking as well that the head is nice and centered, so you're not leaning your head over to one side. Super. So once you're in this position, relaxing those arms, you're going to press your belly button in towards your spine, and we're just going to do a few pelvic tilts. So you're going to feel like you're pressing your spine into the mat. Make sure that those glutes are nice and relaxed. Then from here, you're going to take your pelvis and tilt it in the opposite direction. Good. And then you just make that little arch shape in the lower back. Bring it back to the neutral position. And then press the belly button in towards the spine. Good, so being aware of using that pelvic floor, using those lower abdominals, and just working through that pelvis forwards and backwards. Just taking some nice deep breaths. Super, let's just do one more just to loosen up through that pelvis this morning. Good, super. Bringing your pelvis back to your neutral position. So we're going to focus on pelvic stability to start this morning. So we're going to start off, imagine you've got 2 glasses of water on your hips. Your pelvis is in its neutral position, so you've got that Malteser or that grape in between your spine and the mat. Keeping that pelvis nice and still. So if you want to do your triangle and place it on top of your pelvis, so your thumbs are just underneath your belly button, your triangle should be nice and level. Now you're just going to slide one leg out along the floor and keep that pelvis nice and secure. So just watch that as you start to straighten the leg, that pelvis doesn't tilt. If you're quite tight in the hip flexors and you find that if you can't straighten the leg without tilting that pelvis, just go as far as you can and then draw the leg back in. Good, nice and slowly, really being aware of that pelvis. Good, so extend the leg out. Think about using that pelvic floor, those lower abdominal muscles, to keep that pelvis nice and secure. So again, straighten the leg as far as you can, and then pull up draw in to bring the leg back. Good. Take a nice deep breath in and extend. So imagine you've got two lines coming from your hips going down. So as you slide that leg, it slides in a straight line. So you're not sliding out or in. That leg is trying to slide in a straight line. Good. Being aware of how you draw that leg back in, using those lower abdominal muscles. Let's do one more on each leg. Good, keep those hips nice and secure. And draw in. Good, last one. Good, check that you're relaxing that rib cage, shoulders are relaxed. Last one, draw it back in. Good, and then once you've finished, just check or just be aware of where your feet are. Have they gone out, have they gone in, or have they remained in line with those hips? If they haven't, just bring them back in. It's good just to be aware of where your legs end up. Super, so once you've done your leg slides, you're then going to go into your knee drops. So this is where we're going to take our knee and drop it out to the side. Again, keeping that pelvis nice and secure. So keeping that triangle, engaging those lower abdominal muscles, drawing up with that pelvic floor. So imagine you've put on those tight jeans and you're just going to take the leg out to the side. Now try to make this move nice and small. Out and then draw it back in. So really basic move, but you're going to do it with lots of control. So once you've done one side, you're going to go on to the other. Try to make it as smooth as you can as well. So you might notice that it wants to jolt a little bit. So you're trying to keep that knee as smooth as you can as it drops down. Good, check that that pelvis doesn't move, so you've not let everything go over to one side. If you had two spotlights on your hips, the spotlights are shining brightly on your ceiling and they're not moving. Good, the rib cage is nice and relaxed. Your pelvic floor is engaged. You're just going side to side with those knees, drawing up. Over. And up. Good. Over. Good. Trying to keep the hips nice and relaxed. So just be aware that there's no tension in that leg. So the work is really coming from those abdominals. You're not tensing up any muscles around the hips. Everything remains nice and relaxed. We're going to do one more on each side. Good. Keep visualizing those headlights facing up towards the ceiling, keeping them nice and still as you move the knee. Relax those shoulders. One more. And then drop. Good, super. Again, just check that your knees are still hip width apart. You've not let them fall out to the side a little bit. And your feet are still in the right position. Okay, so our last pelvic exercise is going to be drawing the knees up towards us. So our pelvis should still be in that neutral position. It shouldn't have moved. All we're going to do is we're going to lift the heel off the floor first. Engaging those abdominals as you feel that the muscles start to take control as you lift the leg. Now from here, you're going to draw the knee towards the chest. Again, just check that you're not pressing your spine in towards the mat. So what we're trying to do is keep that neutral position, keep that grape or that Malteser in between the spine and the mat. You're just going to draw the leg in towards the chest as close as you can, and then you're going to lower it back down to the floor. Nice and controlled. Put the toes down first, and then the heel. Good, keep the rib cage nice and relaxed. So again, lift the heel first, then you start to feel that the abdominals start to work as you peel the toes off the floor. Draw the knee in towards the chest. Keep that Malteser or that grape where it is, don't squash it. And then bring it back to the start. Good. So these 3 exercises could be done very easily without thinking, but putting in place everything around your pelvis, engaging those abdominals. It's a really good 3 exercise series, as you call them, to really focus on that pelvis. So take the knee in as far as you can, but keep that Malteser or that grape nicely in place. Not going to squash it. Good. In. Good. So watch you're not pushing off the mat. So by lifting your heel first, you're just leaving your toes on the floor, so you can feel that those abdominals need to kick in order to lift that foot. If you push off the floor with that leg, you're not engaging those abdominals like we would like you to. And again, with the lowering of the leg, make it nice and controlled. Resist against the floor. Super. Let's do one more on each side. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Nice deep breaths as you go. Just long breaths in and out. And in. Good. And then once you've finished your last one, you can bring your knees into your chest. Good, super. Just relaxing off. Good. Okay, so today we're going to work on our obliques, so we're going to go to our abdominal section. We're going to lift one leg in the air to start with, and we're going to take one hand behind our head. Lengthening away from our head, not bent up. So from here, we're going to bring the arm up over the shoulder. Once you come into this position, you're then going to start to abdominal curl up, and you're going to think about the hand reaching over towards the toes. My other hand is just resting nicely on the floor as I reach up and over, and then I'm going to come back to the center as I lower back down. So imagine that you're thinking about your ribcage and your hips. You're not thinking about the arm and the toes. This is the way I tend to activate my abdominals a little bit more. So think about drawing your ribcage diagonally towards your hip. Okay? So one ribcage goes to the opposite hip, and then we come back down. Inhale. Sorry, the arm comes all the way behind. I keep forgetting about my arm. So we lift as we inhale. We exhale, opposite rib to hip. If you can, inhale and hold. And then exhale as you come back down. So focusing as well on making sure all that work that we've just done with our pelvis, that as we curl up and over, we don't take the whole body with us. So we're thinking of just taking those abdominals over, that rib cage over, but those hips stay nice and square. Reach up and over. Good. And then back. If you start to feel that there's some tension in the neck, the hand that's on the floor, you can just place that behind your head if you want to. So then as you reach, you've just got a little bit of support in that neck. And come back down. Good. So try and hold as you inhale, belly button to spine. Good. One more on this side. And then just lower, take a breather, reset yourself, and then we'll go on the other side. So lift the leg. Again, make sure those hips are nice and square. One hand over the head, the other hand down by your side, or behind your head if you want. From here, lift the arm up towards the ceiling. Then think opposite rib cage to hip as you reach up towards those toes. And then lower back down. And coming up, opposite rib cage to hip. And then lower back down. Lift. Opposite rib cage to hip. And then lower. Good, so I think we did 12 on the other side. So doing 12 on this side, that was 3. Exhale as you lift. Good. Inhale and come back down. Super. Try and get both shoulders off the floor. One shoulder will go higher than the other, but to really try and bring the abdominals towards each other, try and lift both shoulders off the floor. So think about the rib cage going down towards the hips and then rotating across. That way you'll probably feel like you're lifting both shoulders off. Good. If you need to, take the arm behind the head. And lift. Good. 6 more to go. And lift. And then coming down. And good. Good. Check that that pelvis doesn't start to move. Keep that pelvis nice and secure. Roughly 3 more to go. Good. Nice. 2 more. Super. Last one. And coming up. And reach. Once you've finished, make sure you come down first and then bring the knees into the chest to finish off. Good. Okay, super. We're going to bring our legs into our tabletop position. So when you're ready, lifting one leg and then the other into your tabletop. Now, again, keeping that grape or that Malteser nice and centered between your spine and your mat. Try not to squeeze or let the Malteser or grape run away. Hips are nice and square. All we're going to do from here is we're going to engage those abdominals, flex the feet. You're going to try and straighten your legs up towards the ceiling. Keep your pelvis nice and neutral. Good. Engage those abdominals. You're then going to think about drawing your heels down towards the floor, making sure that the knees don't come towards the chest. Just to your tabletop position, maybe just slightly lower. Feel that those abdominals are really kicking in, and then extend up towards the ceiling. Good. And then heels down, belly button to spine, pull up with that pelvic floor. And we're trying to keep that grape or that Malteser nice and secure. Now, if you find that you're arching through your spine, if you find that you can't keep that Malteser where it is, then just squash it slightly, okay? So the ideal would be to always have our spine in neutral, but sometimes if our abdominals are not strong enough, that's hard to happen. So what we do then is we just press our spine into the mat. So it's safer to imprint than arch the spine. So if you find that you're starting to arch that back, just squash that Malteser or that grape. Good. Exhale as you bend those knees. And then extend back up to the top. Good. So relax those hip flexors. Think about those heels drawing down towards the floor. And extend. Good. We're going to do 3 more. Exhale as you lower. And inhale as you come back to the top. Exhale as you lower. Keep those legs nice and relaxed. And lift. Don't worry if you don't get straight legs, just lift them as high as you can. And we're going to do 1 more. Bringing it back in. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Super. Good, very nice. Okay, we're going to do a single leg extension now. So again, drawing the knees into your tabletop position, having your neutral spine. Again, with this exercise, trying to keep a neutral spine if you can. If you find that you start to arch through the back, then just go into your imprinted spine. So from here, you're just going to extend your leg out as far as you can, and then draw it back in. So the height of the leg depends on you. If you feel like you can go lower, but keep those abdominals engaged, feel free to go lower. If you feel like you're just going to extend it up towards the sky, that's fine as well. So the height of the leg really depends on you. It might depend on what day it is as well. So keeping those hips nice and secure, trying not to tense through the body, trying to keep the upper body nice and relaxed. Extend. And in. Good. So pulling up with that pelvic floor, the belly button is squeezing to the spine as you extend that leg. You're either keeping your Malteser or your grape where it is, or if you find that you won't have to squash that Malteser, then squash that Malteser for me. Good. Any pain in the lower back, if you feel like you're working that lower back, then really press that spine into the mat. Good. Extend. And in. Extend. And Good. We're going to do 6 more. In your own time. Shoulders relaxed. Also check that your neck's nice and relaxed. So we've got no tension in the jaw. We tend to sometimes clench our jaws when we're working. Roughly 4 more to go. 3, 2, last one. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Super. Well done. Okay, we're going to move on to our shoulder bridge, working into the shoulders as well today. So for the shoulder bridge, we're going to take our arms up towards the ceiling today. Now, if you want to, actually what you could do is if you have a ball, you can hold that ball above your head. Relaxing those shoulders down. And all this is going to do is hopefully just keep your hands and your shoulders in the same position. So that ball shouldn't be moving backwards or forwards or up and down. That ball should just stay where it is. If you don't have a ball, you could use anything that was light if you wanted to. So your feet are hip width apart. You're going to bring your belly button in towards your spine and press your spine on the floor. They're going to roll up through the spine as you go, keeping that ball nice and still. Good. Once you get to the top, take a nice deep breath in and then lower back down. Good. So if you find that the ball's moving from right to left, that will be that your pelvis may be moving from right to left. So what we're trying to do is engage those abdominals to try and come up in a straight line. If you find that your ball wants to move behind your head, that would probably suggest that you're maybe just taking your shoulders a bit further back. So keeping those shoulders where they are, lifting up. Good. Engaging those glutes at the top, belly button to spine, and then lowering down. Good. Again, check that your weight is in the triangle of your foot, not pressing those toes into the floor. Just have a little think about whether or not you find your shoulder bridge different by just holding this ball. So if I was wanting to go all the way up here, then my ball would go behind my head. So I know that that's too far and I'm actually just arching through my spine in that position. Good, so rolling up. Good, keep that ball nice and still. Breathe in at the top and then come back down. Good, we're going to do 6 more. And exhale. Good, so exhaling as you come up and exhaling as you go down. Belly button to spine. Really think about scooping those abdominals. And then once you're at the top, use those glutes to hold you in place. Use those abdominals, that pelvic floor. Inhale, and then exhale as you roll down. Keep scooping until the very last moment. Good. Roughly 2 or 3 more to go. Keeping that ball as still as you can. And then good. Last few. Good. So once you've finished yours, Just taking the ball away and then drawing the knees in towards the chest once you've finished. Just relax off. Good. You can move from side to side if you want to, just to massage through that spine. Good, super. Now, if you have, this can be done with either a circular band, if you have one of these. If not, you can use this one. So I'm going to show you with this one first. So basically, you're going to put it around your wrist. So your palms are going to face each other, and you're going to have the band around your wrists. With this one, you're just going to hold it like we did at the beginning and have a little bit of resistance on. So we're just going to lie down on the floor with our knees bent up, spine nice and relaxed. And you're going to have either holding onto your band or having the band at your wrists. From here, having that resistance, you're just going to take the arms behind your head. Relax that rib cage. Have that resistance as you pull back up to the top. So you will find that with the band, looped band, if you don't resist against it, it'll just fall down. So really trying to focus on separating those palms as you take the arms back. I'm just going to show you with the resistance band. So nice and simple, holding the resistance band, you would have your palms facing your knees if you've got your band. And again, have some resistance as you pull back. Keep that rib cage soft. And pull up. If you don't have a band at all, that's fine. You can do the same exercise, just without any resistance, which is still beneficial. Good. So really thinking about resisting against those bands as you take the arms behind the head. Keep the shoulder blades nice and flat and just go as far back as you can. So don't worry if you can't go all the way. I find that one hand wants to go further than the other. So I just try and keep my hands and work to my weaker side. So I just stop when I find got a little bit of tension there, and then draw back up to the top. Breathing out. And breathing. Good. Let's just do 2 more. Good. Make sure that you keep that rib cage nice and soft. So as you take the arms back, watch you don't start to lift in that mid-spine. Relax that rib cage. And then draw back up. Good. Just have a little breather. For the next exercise, you can either keep the band with the resistance, or you can take the band off if you want to focus. I'll show you the exercise. So all we're doing is our shoulder lifts. So you're going to reach your hands up towards the ceiling, okay, taking your shoulders off the floor, and then you're going to retract back down. So if you just want a little bit of resistance, it's just working into the strength of the arms, you can keep your band. If you want to focus on just lifting and lowering the shoulders, you can do it without. And good. Lift. Super. So keep going. Again, check that when you come down, you bring your shoulders as far down as you can. So just check you're not going halfway. You're actually drawing those shoulders all the way down, keeping those arms as straight as you can. Lifting up, relax that head, and then bringing it down. Good. Coming up. And Good, let's just do 2 more. Last one. Good, super. We're going to come to lying on our side. Oh, look at the time. Time's running away with me today. Okay, we're going to come onto our side. We'll just do a few of these. We're going to just relax our head over, bringing the arms forwards. We're going to go into our side lying stretch. So keeping those hips stacked on top of each other, we're going to reach up towards the ceiling. We're going to take the arms up far back as we can, stretching through that chest, stretching through that spine. Hold for a moment and then bring it back to the top. Let's just do 5 on each side today. Good. And lifting up, inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good. So inhale as you bring the hand up. Keep the head looking towards the ceiling as you take the hand as far back as you can. Good. Lifting up and over. Good. And in and out. Do 1 more and then we'll change sides quickly. Not too quickly though, don't hurt yourself. Good. So whenever you're ready, take your time. Moving on to the other side. And we'll do 5 on this side. So when you're in position again, just check that your hips are nice and square and they're stacked on top of each other. Same with your shoulders. Take the arm up. Now keep those hips stacked. Watch that those knees don't slide. If you feel those knees sliding, that means that your hip will be moving. Ooh, tight on this side today. Feel that stretch. And then bring it back. So 5 on this side. Good. Roughly 2 more. And last one. Good, super. Once you've finished yours, just take a moment. And then when you're ready, let's make our way up to standing. So taking your time. Good. Rolling up through the spine. Just move my camera. And then once you get to the top, just give your shoulders a nice roll. Ooh, the sun's come out. Good, give your shoulders a really nice roll. And then just taking your feet hip width apart. And we'll just finish with some nice deep breaths. So take a nice deep breath in. And then relax as you breathe out. Good, nice deep breath in. And out. Good, nice deep breath in. And out. Last one, nice deep breath all the way in. And then relax as we breathe out. Good, thank you very much.